So here's another question. How do you stay in set, endure a test when she is shit testing you at the nightclub, when she doesn't talk to you back in that situation? So I guess the question is, what do you do when a woman doesn't talk to you in a nightclub? You want to have a crack at this, Jermaine? What would you do if you walked into a nightclub and you're there to Sarge, and a woman and you approach an HB10 and she gives you a bit shield? What would you do in that situation?
I sit there shivering, shitting myself, throwing a drink in her face and be like, you know what, you're a bitch.
You
And I
fling
run
through
away.
at
Yeah. I end up flinging poo.
her.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I lost focus. What was that?
So what the question is, what do you do if you're in a nightclub and a woman won't talk to you?
Oh, gosh. It's interesting because when that happens, I actually feel somewhat connected to her in a strange kind of way because she's communicating very obviously that she doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel any sense of rejection. I don't feel any sense of a loss.
Yeah.
I actually feel kind of closer.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but if connection is something that where there's no barrier between 2 points,
Yeah.
and she's very obviously, very clearly, no bullshit, no trying to be polite, just not engaging you at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. All right. I get it. Good. Thank you for that. I actually feel kind of thankful
Yeah.
when that goes on. And sometimes I'll express that. Hey,
Yeah.
thanks. That's the best cold response I've ever had, and it
Uh,
feels good. Like, I don't mean it in a snarky way. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, thanks. That's cool.
It's actually
And
it's like actually a real and genuine response rather than someone just playing politely and nicely with you.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Andrew, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, usually at a nightclub, I don't really go around just trying to pick up women, but yeah, usually my goal is just to have a good time, and if I just want to go and yeah, I guess my goal isn't the same as this one, but usually I don't have a good time by hanging around people who don't want to talk to me.
I like to hang out with people who beat me, people who won't talk to me, and people who will laugh in my face.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I like women to step on my testicles in stilettos too.
Uh,
I one of my very good friends is a used to be the mistress at a BDSM nightclub, and one of her jobs was to wear stilettos and tread on men's scrotums. This this
Which
girl is
nightclub?
amazing. Oh, if you come to Sydney, I'll introduce you to her. She's incredible.
I need to
It's
go.
called the Hellfire Club in Sydney. Yeah. Well, okay. So actually, questions. Let's get back on track. So for me, two things. I look at this two ways. If I'm just kind of talking to this, it depends on what kind of girl this is. If this is the kind of girl that I actually want to talk to, and she's giving me the cold shoulder as a bit of a kind of playful, kind of like just testing where I am kind of thing, I fucking love it. When I used to go out all the time, the worst response that I could possibly ever get from a girl is to look at me and, like, if I said hi, is to get her to look at me and say hello in a plain, banal, monotone, polite way. Because if she does that, there is absolutely nothing to play with. It's like this, she's giving you like a wet fish. She's like, hello, here you are. This is nothing. You're just like, oh, well, let's have a nice conversation about facts and information and share some logical ideas about stuff. But if a woman, like, if a woman gives you like an emotional response, regardless of what that emotion is, then there is something to play with. Then there's attitude. Then there's tension. Then there's like everything is happening there. If she gives you a bit of a cold shoulder or kind of crosses her arms and wiggles her head, like black women do, like if she just gives you a plain nice response, there is nothing to work with. There's nothing to play with. Yeah. So if a girl is the kind of girl I want, if I can see she's got attitude and aggression and like there's underneath that there's like real like femininity. I fucking love it when they don't talk back. But if a girl is not the kind of girl that I want, like if she's giving me the cold shoulder because she's using that as a way to impress her friends, or like just trying to like prove how good she is and how she's above me, then I'll just be like, I don't want to stay in set. Why would I want to talk to that woman? So yeah, it depends on what kind of woman it is.